Hello my friends, I want to give you an update on how we are doing on the veggie beds to show you how the plants are coping with the warming weather. We've had a strange spring, early summer here. The weather hasn't been as warm as normal, so some of the plants have not developed as they did last year, but they're starting to come on now. The heat is starting to rise, it's getting warmer now. It won't get too hot here. 26 is about the average we get here in the summer. Sometimes it gets into the early 30s, but those are just 2 or 3 days now and then. 26, 27, 25 is the average. So without further ado, let me show you what they look like. Okay, so if you've watched my other videos, my earlier videos, you know that I have 3 vegetable beds which form the basis of what I grow here, and one of them contains all the nightshades, which is this one here. I have peppers, tomatoes, and eggplants, or aubergines, and these are cayennes. This is last year's cayenne plant. I cut it back quite dramatically and it is being very productive again. I also have some sweet peppers here and over there, and all these are sweet peppers. I was trying an experiment from last year. I tried to overwinter that plant, this plant, and this plant over here. I tried to overwinter them in the bed, see if I could get a head start, and I did get a head start, but they are quite small. I'm trying jalapenos or jalapenos this year. This plant is not very healthy at all. All my jalapeno seedlings died. This is the only one that survived, and it's yellow. All my other peppers are doing all right. This is a sweet pepper here, and I have a habanero in the back there somewhere, and they're all doing all right, but this one is struggling, so I'm trying to see if I can use the right fertilizer to make it recover. Anyway, I have a lot of basil in this bed because it keeps some of the pests away, and it really helps my tomato plants. I have various tomato varieties that grow here and some that I've bought. I have also used some of the open spaces to plant some chard. That's a habanero there. It looks fine. That's a sweet pepper. There's some chard. I've brought Elysium into this bed to attract hoverflies and bees, because the hoverflies eat the aphids. They're very voracious and they protect these plants. I have some eggplants growing here. Yeah, I guess this is getting ready to harvest some of these. These are completely new eggplants. Last year I overwintered them here and I had a prolific harvest. This year all these are new, and this is about thigh high now to me. The tomatoes, I've got cherry tomatoes growing. They are fruiting. As this is early July. This is the basil with the pollinating bee. The basil keeps the hornworm away from my tomatoes. The moth that lays the eggs for the hornworm cannot find the tomatoes when they're surrounded by basil. So the fruit is starting to grow. I'm using them stringed up, so for all the tomato plants that are indeterminate, they'll keep on growing throughout the summer all the way to the top. So I tangle them, I twist them around a support string, and it seems to be working fine. Lots of fruit here, so we can't wait to taste these. These are all new. This is it's a burlesque. It's a new tomato that I'm trying. Anyway, so this is vegetable bed number 1, and I said it's the peppers, eggplant and tomatoes. Over here I took out the onions recently and I had them stored for the rest of the next few months. So I planted some more leeks here, just done it. I've got some corn growing. This corn's about 3 weeks old now. It's just growing like crazy. I've got some garlic all along here, which is not looking very good anymore. I'm really struggling with the garlic. I have some pepper plants. This is a overwintered plant here. The peppers are quite nice actually. I need to pick these now. Nice size. I've also got some chard in the open spaces. I like to plant various things. I'm going to put a courgette here next to this steak. I have a courgette growing over there, just planted. These are designed to take pests away from my plants that are a trap plant, and also here. I've been harvesting the beetroots throughout the year. Since spring, every week we take beetroots out of here, and they're a nice size too. Very, very sweet. They like to be planted together with other beetroots. They're social vegetables. They do well on their own too. Every time I take one out, I plant another one in, a new seedling in. And as I said, in between I've got peppers growing. They're really coming out nicely. I think they like the shade created by the corn. The corn requires a stake because this plant falls over very, very easily. And in Kanisu, where I live, it can be quite windy. So blowing the corn over, which happened last year, was a common thing, and it destroyed the plant. Incidentally, I planted all the corn. If you remember, last year I had a row of corn here. They didn't do very well because I only got a few corn cobs out of it. So I was advised to plant them in a block, a rectangle or a square. So I've done that. I've got 3, 6, 12, 3, 6, 9, 12 plants here, and they are designed. This arrangement is designed to facilitate the pollination, because they'll grow the flowers on top, and the flowers will have pollen that drops down into the cobs and fertilize them. The seeds will be created from that. So let's see how that happens. I'll keep you posted with the progress. Those 2 stakes at the bottom there, and they are also for courgettes. Veggie bed number 3 was quite an experiment. I have a lot of beans growing here, and I've been swapping them out. As they die, I put in new ones. These are green beans, and they're quite prolific. I take a lot of harvesting. Every morning I come here, I get a hand or 2 handfuls full of beans. I put in a net tunnel here to try and protect the cabbage, because my cabbages were attacked last year, and I thought I was doing well. Oh, this is falling down here. So when I removed the netting, my cabbages were still being eaten. So I don't know what is causing this. They gave me a nice crop, as you saw in the previous video, but I don't know what's eating them. I can't find anything at all. I've also got some chard here, there and there. That's some Swiss chard. This is Bright Lights chard, and they're all starting to pick up now. I've put some basil to try and mix up the smells of this bed. I got some carrots growing here, and at the ends of the bed I've put some cucumbers. These 2 plants have been amazing. They're not looking very well at the moment, but they've been producing. This is the latest one in the group. That one's probably also going to grow well. So I've had about 5 cucumbers from this plant. Some of them died, but my plan is to try and keep them refreshed. So I've got a new cucumber plant growing there, and on this side I have the cucumbers growing. So the idea is to continuously harvest cucumbers as we go. I'm trying some bush beans on the ground there. These don't grow much taller than this, and the beans have this shape. They're very, very nice. But this is just a test. I haven't actually been very successful growing bush beans. These are the ones that are great. I harvested this morning already. There's more. It's quite incredible how this plant produces. These will be ready to harvest in 2 days. Some of them are twisted like this, really strange. But look at this. So that's the vegetable beds. I got some carrots there and there, just to add a variety. So that's a quick tour of the beds. I haven't really done a lot. I prepared the beds in spring. I prepared the soil, and I've just been adding the vegetables as the seedlings grow, spreading out through the beds. I used to have like only one for lettuces and only one for cabbages and only this for the tomatoes, but I like interplanting like this. It makes it more exciting. I'm also using up a lot of ground, and the plants seem to complement each other in terms of the the corn protecting the peppers like behind here, and the basil protecting the tomatoes. Yeah, so it's also easier for fertilizing. If I keep all the tomatoes, eggplants and peppers together, they nightshades, and they get fed in the same way. So it's easier to fertilize that bed as opposed to this one next to me here, where I have mostly green growing vegetables. So when I fertilize this bed, I use more nitrogen, more emphasis on the nitrogen type of fertilizer that I use here, so it's higher on the N part of the NPK. And when I do the tomatoes, it's a mix between the P and K part of the fertilizer are higher. It's not so much nitrogen. So it's helping a little bit to do that. I hope you found this little tour, this little update interesting. I hope you did. And as I go on harvesting and preparing for the winter cycle of vegetables, I'll make another video and put it on. Ciao everybody.